It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey, guys. Welcome back and happy Thursday, which means we're getting ready for the weekend. All right, guys. Well, last night we watched The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, our kickoff to the Aspen trip, which was very cringe. And then the first part of The Real Housewives of Dubai reunion, which I have some questions. I mean, we'll get into it. So before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And also, Jason and I want to talk about our big announcement this week that Jason kind of went ahead and released without me. Let's bring up Jason.
Hey.
Hi, good morning. 200 in
good
the room in the
morning.
first minute.
Wow. Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Happy
I think
Thursday.
we're all kind of recovering from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills episode last night, which was... we'll wait to talk about that.
Yes. Before we do, I do want to talk a little bit about, the fact that we announced that we're doing a podcast, Hot Messy Podcast, which the link is pinned in the top of the live chat. I'm so excited. I did not think that you were going to drop that without me.
You know what's so funny is we had the trailer done. It was like the last day of August, and in our trailer we say coming this September. So how funny it would have been if we released it like today. What is it today? Is the 2nd or the 1st? Yeah, the 1st day of September. So I just wanted to push it out, and it was after Anchor Watch. It was late. I was like, I'm just going to do this and put it out. So
listen, I agree, but it is pinned in the live chat, guys. You can go check it out. Hot Messy Podcast. Go listen to the trailer. Our first episode will drop September 30th. It is not going to be a Bravo inspired podcast, but a pop culture inspired podcast where we have a good bitch session at the end. We're bringing on industry and celebrity friends. We have lots to talk about, but we'll leave that for September 30th. Now, in the meantime, I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about everything that's going on with Beverly Hills. Let's kick off with Beverly Hills, then go into Dubai.
Wow.
Yesterday, was his birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, wait, whose?
Tess.
Oh, I thought that was Tuesday.
Was that Tuesday?
Yeah, we wish her happy birthday on Anchor Watch. So happy birthday, Tess.
This week. I'm sorry,
Today
guys.
is Trish's birthday, so happy birthday, Trish.
Happy birthday, Trish.
Hopefully you not in the live chat. You're out doing something fun for your birthday because you deserve it.
Yes.
But yeah, we love the birthday shout outs.
Listen, I was hit on the head. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, last night's episode. And for you, Jason, I want to ask what you would rate it, a 1 to 10, but also everybody in the live chat, what would you guys rate last night's episode 1 to 10?
Well, first of all, I'm so happy that we are starting a podcast where we don't talk about Bravo really, and we have other people on our show and there's more conversation, because last night was so cringe to watch. Beverly Hills has not been enjoyable to watch in a long time, but really this season, more and more as the episodes continue, I find myself disinterested. I find myself getting angry. My blood boils when I watch this show, and I'm like, why am I watching this? Why is anyone watching it? It's pure trash at this point.
I'm going to give it to it anymore.
No, it's just not fun. Bring back the season 1 women and let's do it all over again. Why are we doing this? Everybody is a criminal. Everybody gets to point fingers at people. Everyone is a victim when they choose to be for no reason sometimes. It's just out of control. It's just not fun to watch anymore. So with that said, I'm giving it no rating.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. It's not fun to watch anymore. Yes, Jason. 3. We got 3s. Okay. Beverly Hills needs a total revamp. I want to talk about, there's so much hypocrisy going on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Let's talk about this moment right here. Dorit Kemsley and Kyle Richards, they're out and about, and they're talking about Lisa Rinna and her extreme reactions. The night before, or the episode before, we see Erica calling out Garcelle for talking about Erica's drinking with some of the other women in the group. But Garcelle did point out, I also talked to you about your drinking. Okay. We had a conversation about it. On camera. And Dorit was saying, Garcelle, you said to me, don't be a Kyle. Don't be a Kyle. And Garcelle was like, okay, Dorit, you're making it bigger than what it was. But the whole point was that Garcelle is talking behind Erica's back about her drinking. That was the whole problem. And the women stood behind Erica on this. Now we see Dorit and Kyle Richards in the car, and they're talking about Lisa Rinna's extreme reactions and how she's like having these crazy outbursts over and over again, and that she's really putting a target on Sutton's back. Is that not also, are you talking to Lisa Rinna about her extreme reactions, or are you talking behind her back?
That's the thing with this whole scene. It's like, okay, you understand that she's lost her mother, but she is lashing out, as Dorit said. But why are you not talking to her about it? And why are you not standing up for other people who are being lashed upon by Lisa Rinna? The hypocrisy is so real in this. Kyle also this episode, she literally has always been a pot stirrer, but I don't think it's been more blatant than it has this episode.
I mean, listen, but she does it in a way where she's like, you know, and it's not like, we'll get into it in a minute, but obviously from where we picked up, the women partied way too hard. We saw Diana Jenkins go over to Garcelle's house. She was wearing her, you know, her outfit on backwards. Right now, Diana Jenkins she's on a mission. She just sent out 8 cease and desist to other YouTubers and bloggers. Before we continue on with the episode though, Jason was telling me yesterday, because Jason goes through a lot of the comments. We're on YouTube all day, whether we're on here on screen, we always have it open on our phone. We read everything. And a lot of people were saying to me, Adam, this is ridiculous. Like, you're defending Diana, sending out cease and desist, and you should be defending your other, you know, YouTubers and bloggers. And I'm not responsible for what other people say. And here's the thing. Yes, there are rumors out there. Address the rumors, right? Allegations. If those things come up, sure, you can talk about them if they're in different articles. But if you're not in the room with her and you don't know what happened, don't pretend like you do. Don't act like that. So there are some people, and also do your research too. I just want people to do their research, because I had someone send me one of the cease and desists for one of the YouTubers, bloggers who was saying very nasty things about Diana. And I'm not the biggest Diana Jenkins fan, especially after last night's episode.
I'm not at all, but I did read the cease and desist as well. And it wasn't just allegations or rumors that have been heard. There has been a lot of other people have also said things, and they state it as fact. When you state things as fact, but also in the cease and desist, there are a lot of words and name calling and citing of sources that don't really exist. So I think that's where Diana might have, you know, the right to cease and desist. Now, however, when you go over to like Dana Wilkie, I would be very careful, because Dana dots her I's, crosses her T's, double checks. Her grammar is right. You know what I mean? Before she turns in her paper, she has revised many drafts. So I don't know what Dana actually said. We didn't see that cease and desist, but we saw a few others, and it's just,
I mean, guys,
listen,
look at the
there are allegations. We are not a fan of Diana Jenkins at all. I mean, I'm not. Maybe Adam likes her on the show. I don't know, but I'm not a fan of her.
I don't think she needs to be on the show, but
if you're making stuff true without facts and proper, like, you know, backup, then yeah, she's gonna come after you.
And it's defamation. And here's the thing too, and what I was saying in that video was, she has the resources, she has the funds. She'll throw $1 million out there and tie you up in litigation when you don't have the money to fight something like this. So when you go on, that's all I'm saying. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole.
Also too, we all do this for fun, right? Every YouTuber and blogger or whatever they're called, you know, it should be fun. But when it gets too much on, you know, either side, then, you know, but I have to say this, I'm going to blame Bravo, production, and the ladies on the show this season for the amount of vileness coming out on social media, for the amount of toxicity we're witnessing and watching every week on the show. I think they're all to blame. So if bloggers and YouTubers are talking about it, I don't know what to say. She claimed herself as the new villain of the show, yet she can't take comments from people as a villain.
But hold on, and I want to address this too, Scarva Lily. But those rumors have been out about Diana for a long time before the bloggers started talking about them. That's not what I'm talking about.
It's not the rumors.
I'm not talking about the book.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the alleged Epstein rumors. I'm not talking about those. I'm saying go do your due diligence and look. The comments and the claims are
when you
wild,
say someone is having a sexual innuendo and some kind of relationship.
We don't even have to get into this.
I'm just saying doing certain things, and you're stating it as fact, then yes, you will get in trouble. Going based on, you know, rumors and allegedly we heard this and allegedly Diana is this, that's one thing to talk about. But when you claim that she was personally involved in a personal relationship with people, then that is where it gets really, really sticky.
Really, really sticky.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to leave it at that. I just wanted to address that because I saw the comments. All I'm saying is just go read the documents. You'll be taken aback. But Diana Jenkins ends up going over to Garcelle's house and they're talking. And she's like, listen, I don't really like Sutton, which is fine. You don't have to like everyone. There's plenty of people that I don't like. And there's a lot of people that I do. Right. But she's saying, I don't like Sutton. And Garcelle's urging her. She's like, I think you got off to the wrong start. I think that you should maybe give her another chance. And Diana's like, okay, maybe we can figure something out like that. And from this conversation, I was like, I think Garcelle and Diana might actually be getting to a good place. But if you guys watch the episode, that takes a wrong turn. But what we did learn is Diana Jenkins brings in Ghostbusters wherever she goes and has her places cleansed, which I guess that's just like...
I love how Garcelle put this, right? She says, I'm into the crystals. I'm into saging spaces. She's like, do I think it's crazy? Diana has Ghostbusters and comes in and clears everything out. Yes. Do I want to try it? Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's how we all were kind of feeling last night.
But I also
this
think
this is what rich people do to waste their money.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what I was going to say, because you said that last night and I was like, yeah, I guess when you just have that amount of wealth, you're just like, shit, how do I spend my money today? You know what? I'm calling Ghostbusters. What? I mean, you can't make this up, but it is what it is. All right. So we also have Lisa Rinna, who ended up going through her mom's boxes. And this was a really sad moment. You see Lisa Rinna clearly upset, and she's going through and taking out little trinkets and things that belong to her mom that might not mean anything to us. But if you saw, they mean a lot to her. And there was this book, and we learned a fun fact. It's not a fun fact, but we learned something about Lois last night, and that she's a survivor. There was a man who went on this murder spree and almost took Lois's life. So the fact that she survived that, here's the thing. Say anything you want about Lisa Rinna. Everyone loved Lois. Yeah. Everyone loved her on the show. She was so sweet, so happy, so nice. And watching someone, go through this process of going through the boxes, it's really sad, and then she goes on to explain to her husband, Harry Hamlin, that she was speaking with her therapist and that her
I love how you have to remind us who her husband is, just like she reminds us who he is all the time.
Yes. Listen, she was speaking to her therapist, and her therapist said, this is how you need to look at life. What hurts more? And he's like, that's kind of negative. That's a negative way to look at it. And I wanted to ask you and everyone in the live chat, what do you think that means? What hurts and what hurts more? It's like, okay, if I stub my toe, that fucking hurts. But if I slam my hand in the door, that hurts more. Like I don't understand it.
I think she needs to hire a new therapist.
I mean,
I think there's different ways of dealing with losing somebody. There's different ways of dealing with everything else. I found that kind of funny.
Yeah. And rest in peace, Lois. Reality TV with Bad and Bougie. Guys, 700 in the room. Smash that like button. I'm not going for it. She's an actress. She's using her family for a storyline. Last year, it was her daughters. This season, her mom. And then
you're not wrong, right?
What hurts more? Sounds stupid to me. Expect the worst and settle for the best that you get. Actually made sense to me, Aaron D said. Okay. All right. Listen. I didn't
That's
understand.
the great thing about therapy, right? Like it sometimes it works for certain people and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes certain ways of therapists presenting stuff. It's hard. I know, dealing with death this year and, my grandmother this year and my dad just a couple years back, it's very difficult to go through, and there's no right or wrong way of grieving. There is just a wrong way of reacting, which we're seeing Lisa do on the show all the time.
Well, and on social media, but
well, yeah.
My thing is while I don't agree with a lot of things, I'm fortunate in the sense that I have my family and my parents, and if that ever happened, I have no idea how I would react. I don't think I would be like a tyrant. I think I'd probably like crawl in a hole for like a year. I don't know how I would react. So I don't want to sit there and pass too much judgment on that, because, obviously that,
listen, you don't want to pass judgment. She's a human being, right? She has emotions. She feels things. So she is obviously feeling the loss because it's empty. Like in my experience, losing my father drastically, losing my grandmother when she wasn't supposed to go either. It's just taking the time. I can't text this person. I can't call this person. I'm not going to see them ever again. It's a loss, and you feel it inside. So, that part I do understand of what she's going through, but the reactions on social media, and we've talked about this so much on our recaps, are just not the right way. And no one who I've ever known or met, and myself included, I've never known people to react as angry and nasty as she has on social media and on the show.
You know what the thing is too is people have less compassion for you and what you're going through when they've witnessed vile behavior over the years. And so Lisa Rinna is losing a lot of like that empathy that she's asking for people to sympathize. Like, listen, I'm grieving. And people are like, you went after Yolanda's Lyme disease. You said that Kim Richards was close to death. You tried breaking up a marriage with Denise Richards. Like, you went on this takedown mission of LVP. People see this and they're like, no, we're not offering you any empathy. We honestly, like, sucks to be you, which I'm like, that's really unfortunate. But I see both sides. I see people get what we forget is that fans get very invested in these shows, right? So they think, even though you don't know Lisa Rinna, you think that you know her. You think you either, like her or she's
that's what it's supposed to be. This is what Housewives is supposed to be, though, I think. Not you think you know them, but they offer something that, regardless of if their life is not relatable, their personality, their humanness, I guess, can be relatable to certain people. This is why I like certain people on the shows. I'm like, oh, that's relatable. I understand that. Like, I get her viewpoint. I get where she's coming from. At this point, it's really hard to find the relatability with Lisa Rinna.
Right. And, Maddie Mercury said Lisa was rewarded for her bad behavior for so long. What do you expect? I mean, that's the thing too. And like right now, I just did a video earlier. We're going back and forth on this Patrick Sommers thing. Does he have information? Does he not? And now he just put out a conversation, an email with one of the journalists at the Wall Street Journal saying that this is about to be the most factual article that's coming out, and it's going to expose Lisa Rinna. He has photos, DMs, call logs, emails. If this is true, and this Wall Street Journal, Los Angeles Times, they're not just going to put out like shit. It's not like when you go through like the CVS line and you see the tabloid and it's like Kim Kardashian is pregnant with an alien baby from Mars or something like that. Like or like Donald Trump. I feel like
misinformation is the way to sell everything now. So I don't put it past any publication anymore to do something like that. Yeah.
But, all right. So moving on, this is where we finally get the moment that we hear about the earrings. Okay. So we hear about the earrings and we hear about the unfollowing. Two big moments here. The earrings were the $750,000 earrings that were supposed to appraise around 1.4 million, something like that. Now, Crystal and Garcelle are having a conversation where they're saying if in fact the earrings were bought with stolen funds, that they need to be returned. They both agreed on that. Then Garcelle reveals that she's about to go on The Real and actually talk about this on the show, which she did. And going back to it, if you remember, she said, listen, every time I see Erica, she's draped, in diamonds. She can afford to give these back. That's what she said on the show. Thankfully for her, they're going on this Aspen trip, and this episode will not air until after they get back from Aspen, because that would have made it even more awkward than it already is going to play out to be. Now,
would it have hurt any more though, from what we're getting from the preview of next week? Like, I don't know,
because the preview of Erica's, it's wild. It's wild, but we'll get into that too. And one of the big things is, and this is so funny, like this is the world that we live in. It makes it, it makes headlines. Garcelle Bouvet and Sutton Strack unfollow Erica Jane on Instagram. Who cares? But in Girls World, I feel like, hey, what's happening? Like I'm watching Mean Girls. Like in Girls World, this is
Mean Girls. We're watching actual adult ladies act like they are mean girls in high school, and like not even high school, like middle school. It's so, it's just so, I can't, what else can you say about this show? They're just mean girls. But who cares if you unfollow someone? Okay, social media is different for different people. Sometimes you follow people because you work with them, or you like them, or you follow random accounts because you like their content. But if you're being called names and you don't get along with the person, why do you want to follow them?
Right. I mean,
What
that's the
message
thing.
does that send?
And if you're following people just to like, you know, who's been on a rant lately that I'm really enjoying is Bethany Frankel, because she's just like, I don't care if you like me or not. I'm not going to do what you're telling me to do. I'm not going to be the person that society is saying that I need to be. No. And then she's like talking about the Kardashians, and she's like, if you don't like it, then don't watch. And I'm like, I like the Kardashians, but I like you too. So I'm
You know
stuck in
what
the
though?
middle.
But Bethany really, okay, you know where she's winning, and we're taking a little detour here, is I'm loving her dupes that she does. I don't even wear makeup, but just her little dupes that she does, like the drugstore one compared to like, she was showing some kind of L'Oreal thing that you could use on your face, and then showed that the Charlotte Tilbury one was like, the L'Oreal one was way better and way less costly, but she brought very valid points about your friend Kim's skincare. Okay, very, very valid points. That it's not for travel and those big clunky things. And then you open the big clunky thing and it has like this much moisturizer in it. Come on, Bethany's not dumb. She's good. Okay, sorry. I won't.
Let's get back on track. But no, I hear what you're saying. Jason could talk about skincare all day. All right, so then we end up getting on the jet. Now, Kyle Richards and Maurizio's coming on the girls' trip, and they end up getting this, you know, private jet for all of the women to go. Another moment where Miss Erica Jane has looked a little unrelatable. Like, it's hard to empathize with her.
I used to go in a private jet, and it was my own plane, and Aspen is where the elite go. And I was like, what is, then why are you there?
Aspen is for the elite, and it's like a playground.
And who are the elite?
And
you know, at this point, I'm viewing other people in the world as more elite than actually these elite people. It's the same thing that, you know, this is what I'm talking about, the unrelatability of the personality, not the lifestyle. That comment right there. Or when Diana said, I have people to help me. Like I've said that I have people. What do you mean you have people?
She
like,
has a team.
So...
She means she has a team. She has a team. That's so, you know what's so funny too? And if you go back and you think about, I guess because we were closer to her, Lisa Vanderpump. Lisa Vanderpump has like the lifestyle, the wealth, the multi-million-dollar mansion, the businesses, and she doesn't have a team. You know, it's.
I mean, she does have a team, but the way that team is treated is
who's her team? Her daughter.
You have Rocio.
No, she has a housekeeper, right? But also a housekeeper who, yes, they treat like gold. But not really like
her Rocio will come do flowers in the restaurants. I forgot who the other one that works for her is. But
right, but you don't.
She has a little team of like people, but it's more of like helping in the business, not like go ahead of me and get my room ready and set up my throne and make sure you call the Ghostbusters so they can.
Yes. Who are you gonna call?
Wave. No. Smoke around for a minute so I can go into a room that has good energy.
Sage. I call and I'm like, make sure you take this crystal that Norma gave me and make sure that you sage the hotel room.
That's to clean your energy.
Oh shit.
But that hasn't seen the moon in like months. So I think you need to like, what is it? Clean that or refresh?
Yeah, I gotta cleanse it before our interview.
Cleanse it, yeah. Cleanse it with the moon.
All right. So all of the women are going and they're showing up, and we have divided houses. Surprise, surprise, because this cast is divided to begin with. Now, we find out that Dorit is a little uncomfortable with going, and she's like, I just have to embrace this and realize that, you know, I'm going to get past this. And she's, you know, saying through therapy, I'm getting stronger and stronger every day. I was really shocked that she was not staying with Kyle, especially because of this. Kyle Richards has an Aspen home. She sold this house since this episode. And now I think they just bought a new one. But Kyle Richards has an Aspen home. The home has 4 bedrooms. In the home, Lisa Rinna's staying. Erica Girardi is also staying. So they both have regular bedrooms with, you know, they're nice. This house is really nice. And then the 3rd bedroom for the guest has 4 bunk beds. So really, Dorit Kemsley could have stayed in one of the bunk beds. So that's who's staying in the house. Kathy Hilton got a bunk bed, which I was like, you give your sister the bunk bed? What? Okay, but it keeps going. Then Kyle, which I thought this was really cool, got a guest house. The guest house is amazing. An elevator, a wine cellar, a chef. I'm like, screw the house. I would want to stay in the guest house. So at the guest house, we have Sutton Stracke, Crystal Kung Minkoff, Cherie Zampino, Garcelle Beauvais, and then, of course, Diana Jenkins. She's like...
Beauvais.
I said Beauvais.
And you said Beauvais.
I said Beauvais.
Did you?
I don't know. 900 in the room, guys. Smash that like button. But Garcelle Beauvais, They're all staying in the house, and Diana Jenkins, she's like letting the women know, listen, I'm going to stay in my own hotel because I don't want to expose you guys to how like I have to have everything done a certain way and how I am. Just let me stay in my space. And I actually respect that. I'm like, okay, you need your space because you think that you're going to have some kooky moments, whatever. Take your space. I don't want that energy. I don't want the Ghostbusters running around while I'm enjoying a glass of Prosecco and trying to eat my charcuterie board. I don't want that shit happening. So yes, take your space with your stylist and your team. I think that's great. Now, all of the women are getting ready to have this sort of cookout situation. And this is where things get a little wild. Well, Kathy Hilton too was so funny here because Kathy's just like, not in this moment, but
I loved Kathy. And here, this is the reason people love Kathy, right? Because they're talking about the whole Instagram unfollowing and how big of a deal it is. And Kathy is sitting there like, none of you are that important. Like, we are not important. This is not important. And I was like, yeah, but it's because of your sister that it's being brought up. It's because of your sister stirring the pot that we're talking about this crap.
Right. But also it was kind of awkward to see Maurizio was getting so annoyed with Kathy because she's like, can you grill the corn? Can you grill the corn? And he's like, no, it's going to be done like 10 minutes after the meet. I'm not doing that. And Crystal's like diffusing the situation. And she's like, no, Kathy, the corn is being boiled. That's it. And then she bites into the corn. She's like, this corn isn't done. It's not good. And she's like, can I get a napkin? Can I get a Diet Coke? Can I get a, and then Kyle Richards was like, listen, my sister is very high maintenance to say the least, which I do have to say in defense, because I really like Kathy Hilton, but in defense of Kyle, you know this, when my family comes in town and they start going around like the house or whatever, and they're like, Adam, can you get me a this? Can you get me a this? I'm like, no, the refrigerator's right there. The remote's
Wait, are
right
you
there.
saying that I do that?
No, my brother.
Oh, your family. Oh, God. That sounds like, that is you to me. Yeah.
No. When they come in town, they're like, hey, bro, can I get this? I'm like, yeah, get up off of your behind and go over to the refrigerator and get it. I don't work for you. Like, you're staying here for a couple of days. I'm not going to wait on you hand and foot. So you got to be a little self-sufficient, but also.
But I mean, also, you've never invited your sister to this house in how many years? And you're inviting all of your friends. But if Dorit or Lisa would have asked for something, I'm sure you would have done it.
Yeah, but I don't think Dorit and Lisa would ask for. It's like one of those things, like when you send somebody out to do a bunch of little tedious things. It's like, give them the list at once, not like, hey, Kyle, can I get a Diet Coke and a napkin and also maybe a straw? It's not like that. It's like, can I get a napkin? You get the napkin. Oh, but what
it's
about
like waiting for the server to come back to ask for something else?
Yeah,
like, do you need anything else? I brought you a glass of wine. Now you want another glass of wine. Now you want another glass of wine. Can I just bring 3 glasses of wine for you?
Exactly. And I think that's where it gets kind of annoying because Kyle's like, I'm still trying to film a show here, woman. And also on top of that, I have to eat my food too. And I'm trying to entertain. So, you got to get up and do your own thing. But again, I still like Kathy Hilton. I love Kathy Hilton on the show. But then we moved the conversation over with this little basic Ouija board thing, which was kind of silly. It was dumb. And this is where Kyle gets a little bit messy. It was over the Instagram fight. But then Kyle was asking for them to do the Ouija board and say, will these women be able to put everything behind them? Guys, 1,000 in the room, smash that like button, show some love, and go hit the link in the live chat and go check out the podcast trailer. I want to hear what your thoughts are. Anyways, so they're playing this little game and Kyle Richards kicks this off. It gets bad. And this is exactly what Jason was talking about with Kathy saying they're all fighting over Instagram and shit. And Kathy's like, none of you are that important. I'm not important. You're not that important. What are we fighting about? And I was like, she has a point. Kathy Hilton.
It's true.
Kathy Hilton has a point. And then, of course, we get to the conversation about the unfollowing. And last season at the reunion, Sutton and Erica were going back and forth, and Erica called Sutton to see you next Tuesday. Erica was like, yeah, I said that. And Sutton's like, none of you defended me when she said that. Lisa Rinna was quick to jump in saying, we don't need to defend you. Okay, Sutton, you are your own woman. Maybe they don't need to defend you. Like Lisa Rinna defends herself. She'll own it. And then she'll have, like I know that she has her Fox Fo 5, whatever, but she's telling Sutton, stand alone. We don't need to defend you, which is kind of ironic because she's the one who brought Sutton into the group. I would never trust a housewife bringing me into the group. I'd be like, we're friends now, but you're about to be my enemy.
No.
So when she's like, she called me a see you next Tuesday. And Diana goes, it's because you are. And then Erica's like cackle. Aha!
It's not even the fact that Diana said that. She repeated again and again. You know,
Yeah.
I think you are one. I think you are one. It's like, okay, that's a lot. And then she continues to degrade her and continues to call her names and talk about how vicious she was at Garcelle's party. And when this happened, though, and Kyle is sitting there telling Sutton, Kyle could have stood up for Sutton in that moment, but told her, this is your time to defend yourself. Why are you not defending yourself? And it's like, why don't you stand up and defend her? Because the last time Diana was yelling at Sutton, Kyle was quick to grab Sutton's arm for saying, mother, you know?
Jason, you are on point like a mother today.
You know, like a mother.
A mother. Yes, because the hypocrisy is so real. You can defend yourself. Well, last time you defended Diana, and the only person defending Sutton, they're all upset with Garcelle because they feel like they can't get close to Garcelle because she defends Sutton. And Garcelle's looking at Sutton and looking at Erica cackling that she just called her a see you next Tuesday. Diana going through why she called her a see you next Tuesday. Diana's point was, I thought you were very mean to me at a moment where I had a miscarriage and I was bleeding and I was going through a really hard time. And you took that and then you wanted to call me names and you wanted to be like, oh, well, it looks like you're not on bed rest. So Diana's feelings are probably hurt. This is mean girl behavior. It is nasty. But Garcelle's like, all right, I don't respect any woman or any other person calling a woman a see you next Tuesday, which I completely agree with. I don't even like when PK posts it on, Instagram, see you next Tuesday of the week.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's vile. This is the franchise, though, at the moment. And
this is a good point, too. That's my girl. Garcelle is an alpha. They cannot handle someone who doesn't do their bidding. And that's true. It's like Garcelle's standing up for Sutton and she's like, that's not how you navigate the conversation. That's not how we do this.
It's wild. You know what wild to me was just you watch the reactions of the women. That kind of told me everything I needed to know about every single person. Because when she said, well, I think you are and then repeated it. Yeah, like Erica's laughing, Lisa busts out in laughter, Kathy can't hear, Crystal, Garcelle, they're all sitting there like, that wasn't funny. And it was a genuine reaction from the ladies too. So that kind of tells you all you need to know about them.
Yeah, and Scarva Lily said, Sutton was so sad. Yeah, I mean, how could you, if you're sitting there in a situation and everyone, week after week after week, you're a target. And sometimes, like when we got the playback, Sutton said to Diana, listen, I think we got off on the wrong foot. I think it was 95% my problem, right? And then she said to Lisa Rinna, listen, I mentioned the Elton John table fiasco on Watch What Happens Live, and I apologize, and I apologize. Then she looked at Erica and said, listen, I'm sorry for, going in and talking about something that really didn't pertain to me, that I didn't know about or understand. I was just afraid, being associated with the show, that I might be implicated in some way. And then she went over to Crystal Kung Minkoff and said, listen, I'm sorry because we got off to the wrong foot, and I'm sorry for any miscommunication that we had. Then she went to Dorit Kemsley and said, listen, I'm sorry if it came off like I didn't care about your burglary, because I know that your house was burglarized. I was just going through my own thing in my own head, and I really do care, and I hope that you're doing okay. So it's like she's apologized. She has the resolution to the conflict, but then when you're all sitting around and she's getting called a see you next Tuesday, but it's by one of the most powerful
and not only that
on the show.
Yeah, exactly. And she's continuing and in the conversation and just trying to put her down even more by bringing up things they're supposed to be past. It's unbelievable. I mean, what a moment in Housewives history. This is how low
it's embarrassing to be called that in a group. She's humiliated. Who wouldn't be? Over 1K in the room. Hit that like button and let's get to 500. Yes, Sutton does not need to apologize. They are bullies. And I can't wait until Erica Jane or Girardi is found guilty on all counts in one of these cases. The amount of joy she gets from being despicable is telling. Well, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there with the Girardis. I don't know who was wrong, who was right, but it is wild, everything going on. And then from there, my thing is too, we see Diana Jenkins. We know at the time that Erica was served at the LAX airport, she went to Hawaii with Diana Jenkins and Lisa Rinna. Erica has said time and time again on the show that she has no money, that she's putting all of her money into her legal bills, and that she's just trying to stay afloat at this point. Diana Jenkins has all the money, has millions and millions of dollars, can fly private. She has teams. Let me take you ladies on a girls trip. It's nothing to her. So why not kiss the behind of the person who has all the money, who can help you kind of feel like you're still in that lifestyle, like you have powerful friends, right? But then also she hates your arch nemesis. So it makes sense. I'm going to kiss Diana's butt. Makes sense.
Yeah. You know what's crazy to me is you would think that there would be a little more understanding from Diana. Instead of calling someone those names, kind of, she's so worldly, right? And she always kind of reminds us that she's from a war-torn country. She's been through a lot, and now she's made it. And it's like, you're so unrelatable. Like, you are on some cloud that you live in your own bubble and you do your own things. But you would think someone of that stature, with all of the travel she's done, with all of the organizations she deals with, you think that she would have a little more elegance with her words.
And also, Norma, hi Norma, I have my crystals. Norma said, thank you for the super chat. Kyle said Diana was honest. No, if she were, she wouldn't have accepted Sutton's apology. She's not honest, she's vindictive. And that's the thing too. She did accept the apology, but there was no reason in that moment. Like, where did that come from? And when they're talking about the see you next Tuesday, you didn't even have to say that. You didn't have to say, well, it's because you are it's like, that takes it from cotton candy, like we're addressing something, trying to put it to bed, let's move on, to really just awkward for the viewers to watch. Just weird.
It's so strange. And even just talking about it, now we're like 40 minutes in almost talking about Beverly Hills. And I feel so exhausted that I either need a nap or a drink after this.
I did not mean to do that, guys. Sorry.
No. I'm just saying, no, I'm not saying anything wrong, but it's exhausting to talk about it. And it's exhausting to watch it. And it's such a shame, because this used to be like the best show. I don't know how they're going to get out of this hole that they've dug themselves.
I mean, listen, the reunion is filming September 9th. I'm curious what's going to happen, who's bringing what. I think that this could be Lisa Rinna's last season, just based off of her behavior on social media and the things that she said. We'll see. I don't actually know, but what I do know,
throwing production in under the bus too is like kind of
a no.
We don't do that.
I want to get into Dubai, but before we do, Diana blaming her mother's passing for her behavior is laughable. I said what I said. She's been nasty for years. You mean Rinna? Thank you for the super chat. Oh yeah, she's Rinna.
Yeah, thank you.
So what I was going to say is, going into next week's episode, it's wild. It's that moment where we saw in the trailer Erica looking at Crystal, because Crystal was asking about the earrings and the jewelry. And she's like, you think it's cool to be on the side of the victims? Let me be clear. I don't give a fuck about anybody but myself. And then you see her just ranting. And then she's walking outside, and Lisa Rinna's like, Erica, you got to stop this. You cannot say this. And then Kyle's like, Erica, no, I cannot defend this behavior. And she's like, you guys. And I'm like, so this is the thing. You want to offer sympathy. You want us to like kind of sympathize with you and empathize and understand that this was your husband who went through all of the things. But then you're talking about people who are on a documentary where there's one guy who has 90% of his body burned. Joseph Gomez, who doesn't have the money to survive, can't pay his medical bills. It got $11 million stolen from him. There are other victims who are widows and orphans of a plane crash, who lost their families, who didn't have the money to bury their family members. And then you're on and saying you don't give a fuck about anybody but yourself. Like, do you not understand why people would not want to, am I being like wild? Sorry.
No. I'm totally agreeing with you, because we talked about this at the beginning. All anyone wanted for her was some empathy and understanding. But what Erica continues to do, not especially, but on the show, is make herself the victim. And it's like, how are you making yourself the victim? At least have empathy. You might not have known what was going on, whatever, but the way she reacts to what's coming out and what's being to her is just kind of telling.
Exactly. Okay, let's get into the Real Housewives of Dubai, guys. Hey, yes. We have a new YouTube member. Oh, we have a lot about it coming this Monday, actually. Yes. We have a lot to whine about.
We have a lot to whine about. And
we do it at 7 p.m., right?
New members are going to be there on Monday, I hope.
I can't wait.
So it's just getting bigger and bigger. The Addams family is so much fun, by the way. Like, we have such a great time doing the members content.
Yeah, the members content is a lot of fun. And then on top of that too, I forgot to tell everybody, but I posted it in the description of this video, we have Melissa Feister on tomorrow. She's joining us at 1 p.m. She's the one who is co-hosting Namaste Bitches with Teresa Giudice. She actually has a really interesting
background. She's also a Food Network star, guys.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
And she has her own successful podcast. So we're going to have her on, kind of get to know her a little bit and see what she thinks about all of the drama. So now let's get into the Real Housewives of Dubai, because this reunion, someone said, go in, Adam. Sauce on the side. Listen, I wasn't trying to. I just, I just got here for the Real Housewives of Dubai reunion. Okay. So here's another problem that I have with the hypocrisy and then Bravo.
Okay.
I'm getting ready because on our podcast, we're going to have a good bitch session at the end of it. And I'm getting ready for like my rants because I hold a lot in the vault, and we know a lot of people.
You don't hold a lot in the vault. You always like tell people.
No, I don't.
Oh,
you tell people.
We're asking
about the podcast.
Hey, that's okay. But when we do our members only, let's whine about it. We're going to ask people who holds more in the vault. I feel like you're a Kyle and I'm a Kathy.
Okay. I don't think so. But Real Housewives of Dubai reunion. I'm so excited because, I wanted to see this reunion. I wanted to see how the women deliver. It got very awkward, and there are definitely things that people are not seeing behind the scenes. So I do want to break into this. But before we jump in, what did you guys think of the reunion part 1? How would you rate this reunion? Jason, I'm going to start with you.
I enjoyed it. Okay, I want to just back up and say I love the Real Housewives of Dubai. I think the casting was really well done, and I felt like kind of sad when we only got 12 episodes because I had no idea that was going to happen because we just started to get to know the ladies. I thought that was a great reunion for a rookie cast, a brand new cast. I thought it was a great reunion. I enjoyed it. I have lots of questions, and I'm wondering lots of things, and I'm also wondering where this is going to go after with these relationships, because I don't know if you want to start it off.
Let's start off with the positive. Some of the misconceptions or things that people didn't realize about Dubai, because you pointed this out and Sarah Almadani had some great points. So let's start with that, because I know that
I love the conversation. Yeah, this is something, because I've been to Dubai very briefly, right? And I know it's different for different people. However, I think there is a difference between perception versus reality, because if you ask anyone from the United States, they will say it is an awful place. Have you been? No. In reality, if you know anyone or have talked to anyone who lives there on different wealth spectrums, it is a very different story. So I'm glad that they had that conversation. I'm wondering if Bravo needed to have that conversation at the beginning because there was so much backlash. But I thought the points about everything were pretty relevant. Do I agree with all of the laws and everything over there? No. Do I agree with what Sarah Almadani said when the rules are about respect, because it's such a melting pot in the UAE that you have so many religions and so many people from all over the world who believe different things. It's still a very religious area of the world, and it's to respect one another's, values and viewpoints, which is interesting. Now, Ayan came in and piped in that look at America, though. You take away abortion. A lot of people from other countries and other places could say the same thing about America with our guns, with our laws and with things that we're doing. She made a great point. So I thought it was a great conversation.
Yeah. And, the thing is because they were saying that it's illegal for certain couples to be together, right? And have PDA, on the streets of Dubai. But really, you're not supposed to. No one is supposed to show PDA. It's illegal for everyone.
But also, good point. I mean, Caroline also brought up a good point too. Do you want to watch me and Sergio make out all over the place? Andy was
yes.
like, yeah.
Yes.
But when you're out and about, maybe you don't want to see that. Maybe that would be nice.
But you know what else I noticed too, and I don't know what happened here with these dynamics, because we're going to get into it, but there's such a clear divide between this cast. We have Chanel and Lisa versus everyone else. That's literally, Sarah Almadani is like, why am I on this guy? You can even see the body language.
Yeah, you see Lisa and Ayan are sitting closer together.
Right.
And I understand that, but what...
I'm a body language expert. Real quick, Jason, look at the other couch and see how they're spaced out. Yes. See how they're spaced out, and it's just like
100%.
I'm my own person. I'm independent over here. I'm kind of, and then Sarah kind of spaced out. But then Lisa and Chanel, I love watching all of these ladies on the show. I think that they're all great TV. But it looks like we
100%.
had some conversations. And the reason I say this is because behind the scenes, we know some housewives who, when they know the reunion's coming up, they call each other and they're like, hey, girl, so it's going to be a takedown. Just make sure that you bring up this about her and what's going on. And then I'm going to piggyback off of that and I'll defend you. I'm not going to leave you by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you have those moments where they're like, it's still a reality show and they still have time to plan. They know what happened during their season and they're like, oh, don't call it it's a takedown. It's a takedown.
I think too, you know, I was wondering where everyone is coming, like with Caroline in the book and Lisa going really hard after Caroline. I'm really just not understanding it after watching the season. I don't know where it went so left in the season. I didn't see where you have to bring this up. However, it is the reunion. People are watching the reunion for even more drama. And this always carries over into season 2 for some way, shape, or form. So maybe that's what their mission was. A lot of people are on Twitter are saying, you know, that Ayan and Lisa knew the assignment, but it left me kind of, I was wondering like, where is this all coming from at certain
Here's
points?
the thing. There was a clear, first of all, when they're talking about, and I'm just going to break this down and let everybody decide what they want, because I've seen on, you know, Twitter and I've seen on social media where people are really team Lisa and Chanel Ayan, and then some people are team Caroline Brooks, Caroline Stanbury, Nina Ali, and Sarah Al-Madani, right? But the thing, I have questions.
I hate teams.
Yeah, and I do have questions because Caroline Brooks admitted that from the jump in filming this show, there was a clear takedown, a conversation to take down Caroline Stanbury. Caroline Brooks said, I was a part of that. So my question is, from the jump, if you don't really know this woman, if you don't know Caroline Stanbury, is it that same mentality of she's going to be the front runner? That's what they're anticipating. We think that she's going to be the front runner. So in order to make an impact, that's who we need to take down. Because this is the Bravo world. And then on top of that, on top of there being this, you know, clear takedown, I'm wondering, I have not seen any press done by Caroline Brooks, Caroline Stanbury, Sarah Al-Madani, or Nina Ali. I haven't
no
seen
press, no articles,
press.
but Chanel and Lisa did go on a press tour, and within that tour, they did slam some of the ladies. So I'm wondering why the other 4 didn't do a press tour or
because
do that.
Bravo's pushing a narrative.
They're really
pushing
think
a narrative
so.
And they're protecting talent. It's so obvious.
They're
I've
already
remembered this on Vanderpump Rules.
I know, and that's what I was going to bring up. But at the same time, like, why? Bravo needs to stay out of it. When Bravo sits back and just lets the show happen, it will happen. Look at Jeff Lewis's show on Freevee without Bravo. It's so much better. You know what I mean? This is a great rookie season. And now it's like, you need to go do this. You need to go do that. Now we're going to be what, Beverly Hills? Is that what you want to turn into?
Well, and they're saying Caroline Stanbury and Caroline Brooks did do some press. I'm not talking, yes, they've been allowed to do little interviews. I'm talking about on a different level, like the amount of press and like the stuff that's been put out there. Here's the thing.
Chanel should have been doing press. I'm not understanding why Lisa would be doing press.
No, I mean, they should all be doing press. It's a show.
I mean, Chanel but listen, the only like conflict that was like kind of worth watching in this season was between Caroline and Chanel. And I thought at the beginning, because you know how when some of the housewives fight, by the end of the season, they're best friends and we have this whole new kind of friendship developing. You really?
Well, I think so the thing is, and this is
where was the conflict between Lisa and Caroline other than the party?
No, there was no real conflict there. That just
right.
Like that.
So that's why I'm not understanding why is Lisa, she's coming out of the gate with like all kinds of things.
But, you know, there was some conflict that, you know, and like some back and forths that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the dynamic between Caroline Stanbury and Chanel Ayan. I enjoyed the dynamic between Caroline Brooks and Chanel Ayan because it's funny to watch. Like they sit there and they kind of go in on each other. And then after they're like, oh, but do you want to get dinner? Like, it's comical. It's funny. It's good TV.
I love their fast fights and I love how they explain it. And I love how they just understand each other.
Right.
That was a really great moment.
And then you have, exactly. And I like to see that, like the conflict resolution. And you can't have everyone having conflict. And you, more importantly, cannot have someone manufacturing conflict that's not real. That's not reality television. And when we get a housewife who does that, the fans read through. And then you need the peacemakers. Sarah Al-Madani, Nina Ali, they don't want to fight with anyone. They're just like, Listen, my life is great. I have multiple businesses. I'm in a great position in my life. I have my kids. I have my family. What am I fighting with you for? And you need that person too.
That's true.
It's just wild.
That's true.
And, I also want to get into, we had the Book of Lies, right? And on top of the Book of Lies, it reminds me of Giselle and Karen on Real Housewives of Potomac. Giselle and Karen eat each other up, and then they, they go out to dinner, right? Chanel Ayan said in an interview that Caroline Stanbury called her before the season and started to advise her not to be on the show because the show was for her and her friends. Stanbury was the one who divided the group. I mean, this is the thing. I wasn't privy to those conversations. I'm watching one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills right now put out blatant lies through the press, through bloggers that I know and other YouTubers in order to create this false narrative. Am I calling anyone a liar? No, but I'm watching it be done over here, and I'm watching Bravo protect that person. And specifically on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I'm watching where Bravo is steamrolling and making sure that the other cast members do not put out that person's business. So to think that it can't be true and that this can't happen is the most ridiculous thing in the world. But that's not what we're seeing. And if you're not privy to the information, or if you're not really on the inside or behind the scenes and you weren't filming it, then you don't know. You're getting the very, 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 very edited version of what it is. Think about it too like this, in the full scope of things. We didn't see Sarah Al-Madani's businesses. We saw her do, a speaking engagement. We're talking about Nina Ali's fruitcake business. You think that she's living in an 18,000 square foot penthouse on a fruitcake business? You don't think there's more to the story on that? We saw, we got to see Chanel Ayan in modeling. And by the way, Naomi Campbell giving her the opportunity to walk in her show is absolutely incredible. Like
in Qatar, October 25th. I cannot wait to see the photos of that. I think
she's going to look
no one, she completely deserved that. Was the phone call maybe a setup? Come on. It was like, oh my gosh, crazy how you just walked on stage and my friend Naomi is calling me. Hey, Naomi, what's going on? Like, it's just, we're not.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely staged. And this is the thing too. Like, I think it's because I guess we're not a normal viewer looking at it. And some people wouldn't be, right? Like if you're watching and you've never been around like reality TV, I remember when Vanderpump Rules, like when they would film some scenes and Jax would walk up to the bar and he would say, oh, hey guys, like, how's it going? Like what's going on? And they're like, you got to redo that. And then like, okay, so he would have to do it like 5-10 times and then he would get pissed. And Bravo wanted to make sure that the conversations, they would pull them aside and producers would say, listen, I know that you guys are in an argument right now and you're fighting, but you can't bring this up about this person because that's going to change the perception of the audience. And we really want this person to succeed and win within the franchise. So you can't say this about that person. But then I saw where, people could like, you can't say this about this person, but that person can rip you through the headlines, rip you all over the place. For example, I want to talk about another thing that came up, and this was all over Twitter, and I didn't see it until someone sent it to me. Apparently, because we found out in this episode that the Real Housewives of Dubai, it's also premiering in Dubai. And they got
and it was supposed to be, everyone was talking about it. Like everyone who doesn't know was talking about how it's not going to be seen. They can't even show Housewives in Dubai. They're so strict, right? But they get Housewives.
So apparently Dubai and the United States, they have two different versions of the show. What we didn't realize, and somebody put out a clip on this, there was a moment last night where we saw Chanel Ayan said that Sarah Al-Madani threatened to sue her, threatened to lawyer up. Andy Cohen blocked this really quick. We're like, guys, we're not talking about this, right? We saw this. And then when he did, I was like, what are they not talking about? So then I went on Twitter and I went down the rabbit hole and I saw where there was a version that was edited differently that premiered over in Dubai. And in this version, you see where Chanel Ayan and Lisa claimed that Sarah Al-Madani was defrauding people through philanthropy work. So then when that happened, Sarah, from what I'm gathering...
With the UN too, right? If I'm not mistaken?
Yes. And from what I'm gathering, first of all, you can't just put something out there because you're filming a show. You better have facts to back that up. Just like Diana Jenkins, who starts sending out cease and desist for people who are saying they have facts. If you don't have facts to back something up, you can't just put it out there, right? So I'm guessing that is the situation where she was like, if you're going to say that I'm defrauding people, Yeah. Bet your like what does I know what defrauding people looks like in America, right? We've seen people go to prison, go to court, go to trials over defrauding people. What are the ramifications in Dubai for that? Is it 10 times more? Is that a huge, like an even bigger allegation in Dubai? And then if Dubai is such a small circle of people, like this elite group of people, if you're putting that out there, do people want to do business with you? Is that like disparaging your name? You know what I mean? Like this is a huge accusation. So this was all over Twitter. You guys can go find it. No, she's not defrauding people, because if she was, that would come out and she would not be in Dubai. Obviously, they would be able to go in and figure all this. I mean, we've seen housewives get arrested, get in trouble before for being in situations, right? And I'm sure that Dubai is a little bit more strict. But what happened was the OSN forgot to pull it from the show. They only pulled it from one side, and that was the American side. So what we got was the version where, it was removed and you didn't see any of this drama. However, they aired it in Dubai, which is probably more dangerous than airing it in America. This is just wild to me.
Crazy. And, but we can't talk about that, right?
No, but then that's the thing is like, so that's what I'm saying is like, there are certain things like Teresa Giudice is a favorite. So Andy protects Teresa Giudice. Like if things come out, she's protected. Fan favorite. Andy's favorite. Like if you have people, and I don't know, my question is, it's like a conspiracy, right? Are we protecting certain people in order to build them up to be this person? And then all of a sudden we're going to pull the rug out from underneath them and watch them fall. So we have a huge Bravo scandal. Or are we protecting them because we see how the fans are reacting? Like I'm not just talking about Dubai in general. I'm talking about
look at Lisa Rinna.
That's what I'm talking about.
They built her up, and now it's the takedown. Now right. So it's and she. I don't know if longer conversation, because I don't know if she's just kind of like lashing out because she has no control over the narrative anymore, or what. But yeah. No, but I'm wondering the same thing too, because this, like you just said, Andy does have his favorites. They are usually protected. We can't say this about them, or you can't do this. It just doesn't make it reality. But Bravo's been losing reality since it started it, huh?
This is a good point too. Do you remember when the editor came out laughing on the podcast about editing Sheena to look a certain way because she didn't like her?
We were just talking about that earlier this week. That's a great point.
I mean,
that's a great point.
Whoever would sign up for reality TV, like I would never. I mean, listen, to each their own. You want to promote businesses. It's a great platform to really build yourself. But you better go in clear-minded. You better call Ghostbusters. Make sure that shit is clear so you can think right. Because whatever you think you're doing and how you're going to be portrayed on the show is probably the complete opposite. You're probably filming scenes. This is my business. This is my lovely life with my husband. But I'm going to give you one moment where I'm drinking and like, don't with me. And you don't get all of the happy moments. No, now I'm your villain. You need a new villain? Here I am. Right here.
Yeah, listen. A villain can take it though. You know what I mean? Diane Jenkins can't take criticism.
Well,
I'm not talking about the stuff that was said and why the cease and desist were set out, but I don't want to go back into Beverly Hills because it's going to piss me off.
Right. Stacey Aronson said, but Caroline Stanbury, she accused Lisa of stealing something as well. I believe last night the conversation was about copying designs. I don't know anything about that. I don't know about Lisa's business. From what Lisa said, she has a very successful business. I think most of the women have successful businesses. And I know like when that came up, it made me think of, I don't want to name the company, but there was that company that got really big. I don't want to name them because I don't want to get in trouble. They got really big and then come to find out they were seeing fashion shows and actually just making cheaper versions of those.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not, and I don't know what the accusations are in the Book of Lies. I don't know. So I'm not Lisa Milan for all I know. Like, I don't know. From what we're hearing, I have no idea. She has a 7-8 figure business. She has a successful business. And if people have successful businesses, I'm not trying to take that
apparently
down.
It's 8 figures. She said 8 figures in dirhams. And I guess that would be 7 figures because a dirham, let's just say the first 8 figure here. I have it open on my computer. The first 8 figure you can have is what, like 10 million?
Right.
So 10 million dirhams would be like 2.2 million. That would make sense in the US, but that would make sense for like a maternity clothing line. I'm glad she's expanding though, because
Well, that's why she's expanding. Yeah. And that's what happens. You grow a business, you get really good in one part, and then you start expanding. Like, I'm curious. I can't wait to see next season Caroline Brooks's spa. I can't wait. I want to see more of Nina Ali and Sarah Al-Madani's businesses, because they have, you know, extremely wealthy lifestyles. Like Sarah Al-Madani's in tech. That's fascinating to me. Nina Ali, her and her husband, I mean, you're building an 18,000 square foot penthouse. You're doing something.
There must be more than fruitcakes. Now that's true. I also want to see, now that we have, you know, this is the first season and a lot of housewives are starting businesses, right? You have Chanel is starting a makeup line. I'm excited to see where that will go, because the whole conversation and conflict between Caroline and Chanel in the first place was she was trying to explain you should use this platform basically to start something, but there was a big miscommunication. I would be interested to see how she kind of navigates this going forward.
Who?
I think that would be interesting. Chanel and her makeup line.
She's going to do amazing.
I mean, listen, already for season 2, we have so many things to look forward to. Everyone's getting a new house, basically.
Yeah.
You know, Caroline's moving into her house. Hopefully we'll see Nina's penthouse, which would be amazing. That's great. Everyone has businesses starting or opening, and I think it's going to be a lot more fun. And plus, we'll probably have 1 or 2 more housewives. And
on top of that, you have, and I just want to bring this up because this is what you should do. Like, I've had so many conversations with some of my friends on Vanderpump Rules, and who haven't used the platform to start businesses or do anything. They just think that reality TV is going to last them forever, which is what Vicky Gunvalson has said for so long. Like, you need a job, a legitimate business. This is not a business. Right now, you're lucky. Tomorrow, you might be fired. And Chanel Ayan started Ayan Beauty, and this is by Tony Malt. But this is the thing, is like, she will make this successful. You know, like, this is what you do with the platform. What Caroline Brooks is doing with the platform, opening the spa, you promote the hell out of it. That's smart.
I like the process.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we like watching on the shows. What else do we have to talk about from this? Because there's a lot happened here.
I don't know. I kept us over.
Oh, we're hitting an hour.
Yeah, we're hitting an hour.
Okay, well, let's talk about what we're looking forward to, or what do you think is going to happen next week, and how many parts are we getting of this Dubai reunion?
I think I just want.
Is it a 2-parter?
I'm not sure. I didn't even pay attention to that part last night, but I just want to see, you know, like.
I mean, sorry, I know it's a 2-parter, but is there going to be another part? Is there going to be a 3-part?
Yeah. And what I want to see here is like the women be able to talk about whatever they have, you know, like whatever they have to talk about with each other, whatever they need to hash out. I don't think it's fair, like watching it on Beverly Hills, I don't think it's fair that some people get to say what they want, but then they're protected and you can't say anything about them. And I think that if you're going to go on the show, it should be fair game for everyone. If you have something on me and I have something on you, I don't think you should be able to try to expose me for something or spread lies about me, and then I can't say anything about you. That's not fair. So moving forward, I hope next season, I hope we get the resolution. I hope we get, you know, new dynamics. I think that every single person on this cast of The Real Housewives of Dubai, I feel like they all offer something and they're all great. And I want to see all of them win. But what we can't have is what we have on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where we have a clearly divided cast and it's just the same crap all the time, which means we obviously need to add 1 or 2 more women as well.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm interested to see what's in the Book of Lies and how this conflict has built so quickly, so fast, because the way that Lisa came in to the reunion and the way that Chanel kind of is like her, you know, handbag, or, you know, just like sitting there next, she agrees with Lisa on everything, right? There's no kind of let me go away. You know, Lisa is her best friend. Obviously, that's how they're on the show. But I want to see the way that Lisa came out against Caroline so quickly on the reunion makes me think there was some kind of agreement before to like take out Stanbury.
Right. But then you see, you know, I want to go back to Chanel Ayan, and you see when she, like, if she has a back and forth with someone, she also goes back and, like, we've seen her try to fix that and like try to have those conversations. And you need that. You can't just have like, I'm striking you, I'm striking you, I'm striking you. You need to have the moments where it's like, let's talk about this. I said something I shouldn't have said. You said something you shouldn't have said. How do we move forward?
Well, I'm
That's
curious
the
to
whole
see.
point.
I want to hear Brooke's side of the story about that kind of takedown situation. I also want to see what's in this book of lies and if there is some kind of, you know, whatever justification for Caroline saying that she's copied designs or you stole designs. I want to see what's in the book. Let's see what's in the book.
Well, that's the thing is like when Monique Samuels brought the binder, she was like, yellow coded for you, purple coded for you, blue for you. Oh, hold on. You have a question about that? 1 second.
I told you that if I was a Staples employee, I would be, or an Office Depot employee, I would be so scared when a housewife walks in. Like, what do you need? You can't do the poster. You can't do the binder. Now you can't do the book. Like, we got to get creative here.
Yeah.
They need to do a PowerPoint. The next housewife needs to have a PowerPoint.
I feel like Kathy Hilton's going to come in with a PowerPoint over all of these like leaked DMs and stuff. And she's going to be like, hold on, take it to the screen. Exhibit A. Exhibit B. I don't know. This live is refreshing. Haven't caught a live from you two in a while. Guys, I do apologize.
Thanks for being here.
I have an interview in 15 minutes, but what I wanted to say is I apologize about the fact of like just kind of getting excited about some of these things, but last night really was, and I think we can all agree, was really hard to watch. And I think the main takeaway from all of this is I just think, like, especially for Dubai, a fresh, new, diverse cast of women, I think that they're all incredible. It just needs to be fair. Like, everyone needs to be able to say their piece. And Bravo can't keep protecting certain housewives on all of these different casts. Like, again, I know I keep on using Beverly Hills as an example, but it just makes it's not fair and it's uncomfortable and it's strange. And then you have exactly what we're watching on Beverly Hills right now, where people are like, I don't even want to watch that show. And for Dubai, they have so much potential. I enjoyed them. I know some people called this season boring, but at the end of the day, if you think about it, it's because we're just getting to know these women. We don't know them yet. We have to take the time to invest ourselves into them and their families. And then you won't think it's boring, or maybe you will. I don't know. Do you think Rinna will be back? Real honest answer. With the way that she's behaving on social media, I think her performance at the reunion on September 9th, it's going to be either the make or break moment for her. I don't know, because I know for a fact that you're not supposed to put out a lot of the things that she's put out on social media as a housewife, because we have a lot of housewives friends and they're expected to act a certain way. They're allowed to address what's going on the show in the episode, but they're not really supposed to go in on each other. But thank you for the super chat. And also, Terry, thank you for the super chat. That is so true, Adam. Thank you. I really like Dubai. I don't care to know them. Thank you. Okay. I mean, listen.
You know what we have to talk about? Huh?
I said, or you just don't have to watch. I mean, I don't watch. I don't really watch Summer House, so I get it. I have my favorite.
I know, and you got called out about not watching Summer House.
I did get called out.
Yeah. One of your fans in person. No, I don't know. We'd have to talk about on Hot Messy Topics on Monday, though, the trailer of Salt Lake City and thoughts on that.
Oh yeah,
because it looks good. The first time when you brought it to me, sorry guys, I can't talk. I can never talk. I'm like, Housewives, Beverly Hills have exhausted me. But the first time you watched it, Adam, you said it doesn't look that great, and then I watched it. I'm like, this looks amazing. Like, I cannot wait until Salt Lake drops.
Yeah, I just feel like I already know everything that's playing out this season. So I'm like, it's like knowing my Christmas presents before I have to open them on Christmas. You know, you
still have to unwrap them.
This was fun. I'm glad that people had fun, though. You know, honestly, Jason, I feel like we dove in a little bit more and we weren't cotton candy about it because we couldn't be this week. A little stressful. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go have a soda water, maybe a coffee, and chill out for a second. But we love you guys. Don't forget, I attached in the description of this video, we are going live tomorrow with Melissa Feister, who is joining Teresa Giudice on their new podcast, Namaste Bitches. We're having her on. She's also a Food Network star, but she has an interesting background. And I think it's really fun to just see them do this together. I'm curious what it's going to look like, and I just have a lot of questions for her. So that's 1 p.m. Eastern. And then on top of that, we have Let's Wine About It next Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you think this is a Wine About It session, wait until you see Lots happening.
That'll be fun.
Also, don't forget to go to the link pinned in the live chat. Click on our podcast, Hot Messy Podcast. This is very Bravo inspired. That's going to be more pop culture. We're going to bring in a lot of industry friends, different perspectives, and we can't wait to share with you guys.
And different people. Like, it can be exciting. Some of the shows that people are very popular right now, whether it's Netflix, Apple, we have a lot of great guests coming on the show to talk about, you know, not yelling at each other. Maybe just your talent and how good your show is.
Yeah. But I have 7 minutes until my interview. So
Okay.
guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to smash that like button, get subscribed. Thank you to all of our amazing mods. And also thank you to everyone who sent in a super chat. You guys are the sweetest. We love you guys so much. And we'll see you next time. I'm dropping another video after this. Bye guys. Love you.
Bye everyone.